tell you how much I needed to talk to someone. I really badly wanted to talk to you yesterday. I just needed to talk to someone. Just like speak. I haven't spoken to anybody in days.
What about your mama?
Anyway. Well, not really. I can't really like talk to the extent I want to talk.
I understand. Is she fairly patient in terms of does she take an interest in your gaming stuff or not really?
Yeah,
that's
I'd
nice.
say so.
That's
nice. Nice, yeah.
My mum and dad also try, but at the end of the day, I know that I can only talk to them about it for about a minute before they zone out.
Sure.
Which I understand, but at the same time, I can talk for more than a minute on things I don't care about with them. So it's a bit of a weird one. But moving on. What did you want to talk about, mate? What was it that you were dying?
News, like all this stuff we're talking about today, basically.
All right. Well, I told you earlier on the phone, I got a wire. So we'll see if it solves the Destiny 2 connection problems, I guess. I'm going to try it later tonight.
Okay. What, are you just going to like try a Crucible and see if that works?
I didn't tell you, Jay. I got through to one match.
Okay.
So I tested my network connection for about 10 minutes, different things, and then went back on Destiny 2 and I got through and then disconnected after a match.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll probably just... I think if I get in Destiny 2 and don't disconnect in the evening within, say, an hour, I think it's working, basically. But it might be worth trying it out on a Crucible match, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mate, we do have a lot to talk about. Hashtag we have a lot to talk about.
We haven't said that in a while, I don't think.
We haven't, but we do. First thing,
so,
Jay, I wanted to quickly bring up, mate. Pre-orders are still looking terrible.
Oh yeah, wasn't there something recently about a few people have been refunded for their pre-orders?
I think there's refunds going on, and some people have been emailed by their outlet that they bought it off, and they just got an email saying, "Oh, by the way, you might not get it on launch day." Yeah. What's the point then?
That's why I think that's part of the reason why I didn't bother yet. I just wanted to wait till near the time, wait for it to all cool down so they can restock and get it all sorted out.
Jay, what if you don't get one on launch day? Will you be pretty miffed?
I don't know. It depends. Because Xbox, well, I mean, as long as I get one by November 19th, I'm happy.
Yeah, right.
Because that's Cyberpunk Day. As long as I get Cyberpunk, then I'm good. I don't. Nothing else matters.
Well, PS5 comes out that date, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're hoping that's
the other part. Well, that's the thing. That's the other part of my reasoning as to maybe wanting to get an Xbox, because I can potentially have more chance of getting one
in that week.
During that week, rather than having to wait for the PS5 and then potentially not getting it on day one. So
yeah.
I mean, we already there we go.
Yeah, we already covered this, but the idea of me not being able to get a new Xbox on launch day is killing me, man. I mean, it's so stressful, but we both agreed that there's just no way these consoles aren't in stock on launch day. I just can't see it happening.
No, I'd be dumb. Especially, I mean, the gaming industry is worth billions. So for a company or companies that, together are worth so much more than so many other companies, you'd think they'd be able to professionally, get their product out there. So, yeah.
Yeah. Don't know if you've seen any of this stuff, but a couple of people got sent an Xbox Series X for real.
Yeah.
And they've put out some first impression articles and stuff. So I don't
IGN know if did, right?
Yeah, by Ryan McCaffrey. Who,
I haven't properly checked it out, not really. But you can inform me a little bit at least, I suppose.
Sure. Well, in short, mate, it's good. The load times thing is definitely a thing. Okay, it's cutting them down significantly. So, for instance, Red Dead 2, he was testing it on a 1X instead of an original Xbox One, would load in 3 minutes. And Red Dead 2, for those who don't know, the load times are astoundingly long when you first get in the game. And then on a Series X, it was about a minute. So
a third. It's taking 2/3 quicker.
Off. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I mean, he did loads of other games like Halo 5 and stuff, but it was there. He said it was whisper quiet, like dead quiet. Like could hardly hear it's on.
That's honestly, that was like one of my major concerns because my PS4 is so loud. So annoying.
Well, he was saying that, at the end of the day, he hasn't got any games that's testing the Series X to its full potential quite yet, so it may get louder.
Very true, yeah. With the Xbox Series X only games that require, that it be played in 4K or whatever, then it might have to start whirring around a bit. But
exactly.
Also, I think it depends on your environment too, because obviously if you're playing in a room that's like 40 degrees, it's probably not going to do as well as a room that's like 10 degrees,
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be a drastic change there.
And if you're playing Halo Infinite multiplayer 120 frames, I mean, God knows, how it's going to sound. But he also, I think, to be fair, the Xbox architecture team, their emphasis has been quiet consoles even since Xbox One.
I mean, my Xbox One doesn't make a noise.
Exactly.
Like, the only noise it makes is when it turns on and then turns off. Just that, did it? That's it. It's the only noise it makes. It's great.
He also said that the Xbox Series X makes the same noise as that.
Okay, fair enough.
And then the other emphasis was quick resume, which he was very impressed by. He said that he was switching between 2, 3, 4 games, and it was very impressive at the end of the day.
I kind of like that. I'm curious to see. Yeah, I don't use that kind of technology now, not massively, but I feel like if it was that quick, I'd actually probably have more of an inkling, more of a want to be able to do that. Like it'd be good if I was like wanting to look at YouTube for like a guide on something, I could just flick back and forth within seconds. Because at the minute, I'm obviously just using my phone for that kind of stuff because it's right there. But if I don't need to use it, then that'd be good too. So,
mate, you're spot on in terms of having an application or a what would you call it?
It's almost like a tab on a laptop.
Yeah, like a new function thing.
Right, just being able to flip back.
Exactly. It's like one of those things where I wouldn't say we sit down and go, oh my God, we're desperate for it. But I reckon when it's in our hands, we're going to use it all the time.
Yeah, yes, you get that a lot. Like when you don't need something and you don't have it, and then the moment you do, you're like, why did I never have this before? And you get used to that having it then, and then you're actually more annoyed when you don't have it as often. So I think it's just when you're around it enough, you tend to want it or crave it a bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
Or have the need for it, yeah.
I think we'll be using that a lot. For me personally, Jay, I can see myself using that going from a single-player game to, everyone wants to play Rocket League, or I want to play Destiny with Jay, and then just quickly going back to the single-player game. But the OCD person in me always likes to quit out games before I go on to something else,
Yeah, that's true. I'd probably, for me, I'd have to quit out of everything anyway. Because to me, if you don't quit out, it's still taking up power in the background, and it's going to slow down whatever you're playing. But if the console is good enough that you can have 2 or 3 games up at one time and it doesn't affect the frames or anything, then yeah, go ahead.
Do you think you would notice any slight dip in performance if you did have 3?
I would, yeah. I'm quite sensitive to that kind of thing.
Okay,
I'd say
right.
I've seen it enough on, PC or any sort of console or whatever. You can just tell when there's a difference. But yeah, no, I could tell, but I don't know how. I mean, I'd have to see it to know, see it to believe it kind of thing. So.
And speaking of seeing and believing it, he said that it feels like a $500 console, and he said that it looks good standing up. And I think we both agree that again, Xbox Series X has looked better than PS5 from the get-go.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have it standing up or not. Honestly, I kind of think it'd be better on its side. Like, it depends, right? Because if it's on its side, it's getting more airflow in. But if it's standing up, it's able to get rid of the air quicker. So it's sort of like that balance. Maybe you just have it on a diagonal.
Well, I'm not sure, because he said there's a stand on the bottom or something like that.
Yeah, there is a gap, but I'm wondering how big of a gap it is.
And does air go through that bottom bit if it is on its side then?
Oh no, it does. What I'm saying is it can get more air on its side if the bottom part of it is able to suck it in.
Sure.
Because when it's flat, there's still only that much of a gap versus that much of a gap, So
yeah.
But when it's on its side, the air that escapes out of it doesn't quite go up as fast as you need it to when it's on its side. So I don't know.
He said he preferred it on its side, but I'm not sure it'll fit vertically in my cabinet.
I think that's probably why. Yeah. So for me, I've got an open, like it's sat on top of almost like a dresser.
Like a desk,
like the way you put clothes and stuff. So I'd probably just have it standing up. It'd actually be better for me. If it was on its side, it'd probably be too long anyway. So I'll have to have it going up.
Well, we'll just create a little counterweight, string it up, and then have the old diagonal and
Justin, see what... you were my counterweight.
I've got no, mate.
You don't know where that's from?
I remembered what show I hated watching. It was Socially Awkward. Do you remember we were talking about awkward TV shows?
Oh my god! Wow. Yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember?
Yeah.
It was Peep Show.
Okay.
Because we were talking about I don't like awkward humor, all that kind of stuff. What shows do awkward humor good? It was Peep Show that I cannot watch. I can't watch it.
Okay. Yeah. No. That's yeah. It's one of those. It's cringy humor, isn't it? It's like The Office.
Yeah.
The Office I can watch, but I barely watch it. It's
like
so cringy.
on the border.
So cringy.
Oh
God.
God.
I can't do it.
Have you watched Peep Show?
Like clips, like bits here and there.
Okay.
But I couldn't watch the whole thing. I don't think.
Oh mate,
it is a British classic though. It really is. Like it'll go down in history as one of the most, like the best comedies of all time.
Sure.
It's highly rated.
Yeah, no, I think
extremely
you're
so.
right.
I know a few people who we know who really like it.
It's one of those programs that comes on Netflix and gets a second wind, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I think it was like #1 trending in the UK on Netflix for like a few weeks.
Fair.
When it first came on, yeah.
And just looking overall, Jay, again on the PS5 versus Xbox next gen battle, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking this morning driving in the car. I feel like it's changing on a daily basis at this point.
It really is, yeah. I've gone back and forth in my head so many times. So many times.
Like some days I'm like, oh, PS5 is going to dominate, and then other days I'm like, I'm looking at Xbox and LJ and I'm going, well, shit.
So there's a deal on at the minute. You can get 4 months of Game Pass for 21 quid, which I don't know if that's a deal or not, but that's what I've seen.
It sounds like it because I think it's, I want to say 8 quid a month.
Yeah.
So
you're saving yourself about 11 quid. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens on the Xbox PS5 front. I'm kind of in two minds of it, mate, because, like, on the one hand, I'm really excited, and hopefully we get these consoles, and, like, we're going to get all the games at launch, and Cyberpunk's coming out soon, and then we'll obviously talk about that in a bit, right? But, like, at the same time, I'm like, man, this is stressful. I still feel like we haven't got all the concrete information. I still feel like these launch lineups are a little bit, like, we don't really know what's going on. And I just want to get your thoughts on everything, really. Like, can you make sense of what I'm saying? You know?
I can, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's annoying, but honestly, I'm sort of at the point now where I can't let myself get annoyed by it. I kind of just have to, like, not think about it. Like, that problem, I'll come to that bridge when, we'll cross the bridge when we come to it, kind of thing.
Sure.
Like, I'm not really gonna be thinking about all that kind of stuff until at least early November. So, yeah, I'll wait and see. I'll see what's happening. I've actually sorted out my financials, my supposed financials between now and the end of December. So I think I potentially could get both if I wanted to. It's just whether or not I'm actually willing to do so. Yeah, I mean, if I could literally get an Xbox, only play Cyberpunk for like 3 months, and then buy a PS5 like next year, and then play Miles and everything else. So I think I might do that, honestly.
Dude, that's my plan. That is 100% my plan.
Yeah, I think I'll get a PS5 and play like Godfall and all that later on. And I don't know how excited you are about Outriders, but if that comes to that, is that only PS5?
Outriders?
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. I don't think so. Because
are you how willing are you to play that? Because it's basically Destiny meets Division, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I mean, being honest with you, mate, I ain't playing that.
You're not? Okay.
No.
I was gonna say if you were, I'd probably get it for Xbox so we could play it together. But
don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I won't play it in the future. But if you were like, Nick, are you going to spend 50, 40 quid on this game at launch? Not a chance. Just in this, in this period of new console, at least 3 new games. I'm basically out, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Just being honest.
Yeah, no, I respect it. I respect it.
And speaking of Cyberpunk, mate, Bloomberg, looks like Jason Schreier at Bloomberg reported that an email got sent out a few days ago saying they're going to have to crunch 6 days a week till launch, right?
Yeah, for the next 6 weeks, yeah.
For the next 6 weeks. And then a lot of... I don't know that much about it, but from what I can tell, Jay, it seems that crunch hopefully means that the developers need to and want to put the time in to finish the product.
Yeah, that is what that means. I think that the controversy surrounding it is more to do with that when the game was spoken about a year ago, the main guy, the main developer or the main director or whatever for Cyberpunk was basically like, we are definitely not doing crunch.
Sure.
Because CD Projekt Red have had a pretty risky past with crunch in that they've had a lot of people who have left or who have been mistreated during those times, basically not paid enough or not given enough time of a break because they're working so hard. They just end up having stress meltdowns and then not being able to work for a month or whatever.
Which this is from CD Projekt Red.
It's the two main companies who it's bad for primarily are CD Projekt Red and who did Mass Effect?
BioWare.
So BioWare with Anthem and Andromeda, they lost count the amount of people who had to leave because of how much work they had. Yeah. Wow. Basically, these people got so stressed that they literally they broke down and just couldn't work. Like a load of them had to go to therapy. Like they had to they fucked them up.
So that's the bad crunch, and then you also get the crunch where they're forced to work, which is kind of like what you're talking about.
Well, no, that's what that is. Crunch is basically where you have to work at least 6 days out of the week, 9 to 5, if not longer. If not from I don't know, 7 till 10.
Sure.
What you have to work all day. I think you have to do so many hours a week, and it's just more than you're supposed to be doing, essentially. Yeah, I think with this, I'm kind of glad they're doing it, but they did say they weren't going to. I think they obviously had to do it because they were supposed to release 2 weeks ago, but knowing that they've got all this time, they'd rather perfect it now and not have any issues post-launch, just have everything fixed now. So
yeah, no, kind of day one patch which fixes loads of bugs and stuff.
I think you'd rather have to crunch in the last 6 weeks than most of the development. I think they've put this off for a long time. I think they were going to crunch maybe 3 or 4 months ago and then realised that they weren't going to be able to do it even with the crunch. So they thought, well, we'll delay it as much as we can and then diminish the crunch. So I reckon they would have had to have had at least 2 or 3 months of crunch to get it done for September. But then they thought, well, we know that they probably had inside information about the consoles coming out in November. So they thought, well, if we delay it at least till November, the crunch, instead of it having been 3 months, it'll only be a month and a half instead. So it'll be a lot less of a bad publicity thing to happen if we only have to do a month and a half versus 3 months. I reckon that's what happened. This is obviously speculation, but it's probably a good educated guess. Definitely.
Yeah, mate, 100%.
This is definitely going to hurt them, maybe on an industry level. But not necessarily on an audience level. This hasn't affected me at all. This is, if anything, it's actually more as it's a positive for me because it's a necessary evil. Yes, I'm obviously annoyed these people are going to be stressed, but they did say that the main argument was they're going to be accommodated money wise. They're going to get paid for a lot for this. So yeah, I'd do it if I was getting paid a hell of a lot more too. So.
Yeah, I'd love to speak to 10 different workers at CD Projekt from different departments and get their take on it. At the end of the day, I can't comment whether they should or shouldn't. I've got no idea what the development's been like for that. I've got no idea. Apart from the fact it doesn't seem too troubled, even though it has been delayed. We haven't had leaks of, the game's broken, blah, 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 blah. It looks like it's on track. They're taking their time. However, I just hope that those having to participate in this crunch. Actually, yeah, I would take this opportunity to let those who are working there, who don't want to do crunch, who are having to do crunch, I would want to let them know that I can assure you that your hard work will be rewarded when me and Jay play this game, and it's probably one of our favourite games ever.
They also said, oh god, yeah, no, they also said about something about, I think, all the money that's made from the game in 2020, 10% of it is going to go to the workers.
Yeah, and this was a response from the head of studio, is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Who tweeted it out. Yeah, head of studio.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Badowski. And I think props to him for responding to the report.
Yeah, personally. 10% of the annual profit the company generates in 2020 will be split directly among the team. I mean, that's going to be a lot. This game's going to make a fuck ton of money.
Yes, it is.
Like, how many do you reckon it's going to sell in its first weekend?
Mate, I'm glad you asked this, and I'll tell you for why. Is it going to outsell COD?
I don't know about COD, but I think it'll probably be one of the best-selling games of this year, right?
I think it'll be second best-selling, yeah. How many copies is it going to sell? Wow, that's a great question.
How many did Spider-Man sell in its weekend? I forget. It was a couple of million, wasn't it?
I think so. I'm going to go 3.7 million.
Okay.
What are you going to say?
I'm pretty sure Spider-Man sold about that, didn't it? It was like 3.6, 3.7. So if they can do the same as that, I'd be pretty surprised. I mean, I actually have a number here. So the Spider-Man game has sold, as of July 28th this year, it sold 13.2 million units globally.
Incredible.
That's insane. I mean, most games that have been around for a decade come to like, or like good games that have been around for about a decade, usually come between 10 and 15 million. So game hasn't even been out. Well, the game's only been out a little over a year and it's made more than.
Is that Spider-Man?
Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah.
It's been out a couple of years.
When did it come out? Was it 2018? Yeah. 2 years then. For some reason, I thought it came out last year. I don't know why I thought that.
Because you keep playing it, my friend. It's because you keep playing it.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Mate, I mean, for perspective, I think Bloodborne, after a few months, reached 1 million copies sold. I'm sure that's sold over time, but that's to give a bit of perspective in the fact of that was considered a great success.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's extraordinary. It doesn't compare to Call of Duty, FIFA, NFL, GTA numbers, but it's still super impressive.
Witcher 3 has sold over 40 million as of last year. That's so much money.
Dude, they've probably already paid off the development cost for Cyberpunk.
Oh, massively, right? Imagine roughly £50 $50 per unit. Hang on, I need to calculate this. Jesus, that's like hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What's the number when it has 9 zeros? Is that a billion? Yeah, it's made roughly 2 billion. This game's made more than Marvel Endgame, I think.
No, Marvel Endgame 3 billion.
Was it 3 billion? I thought it was like.
But also, Jay, a lot of those copies were sold on sale for sure.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Sold over time.
Let's say on average like 50. Like even if it was less than that, it's still like somewhere between. It's basically somewhere between $1.5 and $2 billion roughly.
Dude,
they've made.
I'm telling you, that game is extraordinary. I'm just got this number up, Jay. I've got here in 2014, Skyrim sold 20 million copies. Let's say with special editions and stuff, that's gone up to say 30 million. That's still not Witcher 3 levels. That's the game we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
And furthermore, Jay, on the Witcher 3 front, it completely obliterates any argument that single-player games are not as profitable. I think if you make the right single-player game at the right time, it will consistently sell for years to come. And I think The Witcher 3 is possibly the best example of that.
So the Cyberpunk budget is roughly $200 million, which is nothing if you think about how much money Witcher made. That's
not
insane.
Including DLCs.
That's insane.
Not including merch.
Oh yeah, that's not including DLCs. My God. And also the TV show as well. I reckon that made some money from Netflix.
Yeah, probably did.
That's probably the reason why Netflix even did a show. It's like because they realized the game made over $1 million. Yeah, we definitely make a show about it. Enough people want to play it. So
yeah.
All right.
Dude,
well, there we go.
I think that's a great achievement, and it's so worthy. So worthy.
I mean, it just makes me hopeful that CD Projekt could literally make any game and it should be brilliant with that much money. Like you'd think, right?
Well, that is the argument, isn't it, Jay?
I guess that's kind of where Bethesda have been sitting for so long as well. Like I reckon that's probably why Bethesda was worth $7.5 billion, is because probably most of their games have made up to that much money, or if not more, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
like Skyrim's definitely made a couple billion.
I imagine a game like Fallout 4 would have made Hopefully,
at least 1 billion, right?
Yeah, hopefully something like that.
Maybe
something
slightly
like
under,
that.
maybe like 800, 900 million or something.
Yeah, something like that, I'd say.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Looking at 200, 300 million cost, perhaps.
Considering the budget
like
is somewhere between 100 and 200 million, I mean, you're making your money back, fivefold at least. So.
And look, man, good. I think in the greatest way possible, Witcher 3 is making Todd Howard and the team make the best Bethesda game they possibly can. And I believe that. They're game fans. I think they've played Witcher 3 and they've gone, well, sugar, we can do things better this way and that way, and this is how we're going to make our game better.
What? So you mean it's like playing other developers' games make them want to work harder? You mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, makes sense. Being like, I want to be able to do this well. What can we make that can be just as good? That'd be ideal, wouldn't it?
I'm excited to see Starfield, dude, and I'm just so grateful because, like, really, Witcher 3 came out of nowhere. Like, it came out of this Polish studio. People were excited for it. Nobody expected basically the best RPG in 10, 15 years. So, anyway, let's move on because I'm just ranting now. Mate, quick one on the Crash 4 front.
Yeah, I want to know about this. Is it out yet?
Out tomorrow. Review okay. Embargo up today. Okay. Now, Jay, what did I say to you about Crash 4?
I don't know. I can't remember what you said.
Bad co-hosting. Bad co-hosting.
I can't remember what you said.
You're not listening, man. You're not listening. Come on.
Yeah, but I've got a lot on my plate. Continue.
Get your head in the game, man. Get your head in the game. Get it? Because we're a gaming podcast? Okay, no. Sure. Mind. What I said, mate, was, to be fair, I don't know if I said this to you, so I'll let you off this one.
Okay.
I basically said, I've got faith that if it's not better than the original 3, I reckon it'll be as good as the original 3.
Okay, I think I remember something about you saying that.
Yeah. Okay. So reviews hit, Jay. What do you think reviews are like?
I haven't even looked, honestly. If I had to guess, can I make a guess? Because I genuinely haven't seen anything.
Should we just go, what do you think IGN gave it out of 10?
Either an 8 or a 9.
It gave it an 8. Yeah. And I'll tell you for why, Jay. Because the game's great and I can't wait to play it. I'm going to buy it. I'm not going to play it just yet. I'm going to buy it and I can't wait to play it. They delivered. I thought they'd deliver. I just wanted to share my excitement.
Good. Yeah, no, I'm happy for you. I think Crash is one of those games that has been more of a thing I've left in the past and not really fussed about it now. Same with like Spyro or Zelda or any of those kind of games. They're not really for me. They're not my kind of cup of tea anymore. But I can appreciate them for what they are, especially Crash. I mean, I've seen it and it looks amazing. Like I love what they've done with it. So.
Do you think you'll ever go into Crash 4 as an entry point? No?
Nah, probably not.
Fair enough, mate.
I mean, I'd happily watch you play it or someone else play it. So.
Mate, oh man, watching games, who would have thought it would have been such a big business?
Yeah, ask Twitch.
Yeah. Well, what have you been playing, mate? What's on your mind? Because I know you're thinking about it a lot.
Yeah, so I'll start off with Dirt 5 and Squadrons really quick.
Which, by the way, did you see Squadrons single player reviews have gone up?
Yeah, I saw the single player reviews. I just haven't actually looked at them yet, but yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's supposed to come out tomorrow as well, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to get it.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm kind of like busy playing something else at the minute, which I'll come back to. But I don't know how fussed I actually am about playing it, honestly. I know in the past I was quite excited, but I think it's because I maybe had too high expectations for it. So I might leave it a little bit and maybe come back to it. Because I have a feeling it might be cheaper in like a month or two.
Buy it on sale?
Potentially. I genuinely don't even like care too much about the price. It's just more about what I'm in the mood for at the time, and at the minute I'm in the mood for something else. So I think I'm going to wait. I've made the mistake before of buying a game, knowing that I'm not in the mood for it, and then when it comes out, I'm still not in the mood for it, and then by the time I am in the mood for it, it's a year, and the game is like half price. So why did I even bother? So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to learn from my lessons as much as I possibly can, especially nowadays because I need to save money. So
sounds good, mate.
Try and save it where I can.
I was just going to comment quickly, Jay, because it does seem like the hype fairly high for you and others. It seems like it's just slowly gone down closer to launch for this game.
Yeah, I think it's not. I think there's a reason why it's 35 quid. It's not quite there. Like, it's not quite the game I want to be able to experience. Like, I'm playing a game at the minute that is free to play, but in my mind, it's probably a better game. It just has more to it. Like, I'm basically playing a Zelda Breath of the Wild, but a free version of it, versus Squadrons, which I know I have fun with, but it probably won't last. I feel like if I got that on Xbox and you also got it, I'd probably be more willing to play it.
Yeah, sure.
But the fact that that's not happening, then yeah, I kind of for me that'd be like a multiplayer only game. I don't really see the point of playing the story for that, honestly. I get why they put it in there because you need a bit more substance to a game. Like if that was a multiplayer only game, it probably would have been more like £15 or £25. But yeah, no, I just don't. I don't. I'll come back to it. I think maybe by the time I come to it, there'll probably be some DLC or something. I honestly don't see it doing that well. I think the only reason it'll actually do well enough to continue for a little while is because it's got Star Wars on it.
100%.
Yeah, I'll wait and see on that one.
Well,
Are you fussed about it or what?
Yeah, I'm not, mate. I'm not. I hope it does all right. It looks like it's okay. Some of the feedback from the reviews was that it looks like it was originally planned as a pure VR game, and they've moved it to console.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. I've definitely had that thought too. It did. I think because of the whole cockpit thing.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it?
They kept using the excuse of you wanting to be more immersed in it, but I reckon it was a VR game that got made into a non-VR game that happens to also play in VR. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
VR games just aren't priced the same, so you can just tell.
Yeah. I'm not against us two buying this on sale next year, next summer, when all the DLC's
Honestly,
out and
if you let me know when you're ready to play it, I'll probably get it then.
If it's in a good state, look, dude, we don't know what the multiplayer is like yet. I've got no idea what the
we also don't know
the game is.
Whether the servers will be up for that long. I imagine they will, just because they'll want to make money from microtransactions. I mean, if Battlefront 2 servers are still up, then they're going to probably stay up for a while too. So
yeah, no, dude, they'll be up.
If the game makes enough money, it'll be up for long enough for us to want to play it later on. Yeah.
Yeah, and
plus we probably won't play it that long anyway. We'll probably only play it for a week or two.
Maybe even one weekend, just get it out of the way. But
it'd be good if it was on. Is it on Game Pass? Probably not. No, if it was on Game Pass, it'd probably be pretty good.
Yeah, 100%, dude. But yeah, like I'm not against us playing it for a weekend or anything, mate. But what I will say is that I have absolutely no craving to play this particular game at the moment.
I think if I literally could take a previous podcast that we had of me going crazy about it to now and being like, wow, that's kind of embarrassing. But I think, time is the teller of all, really, isn't it? It sort of lets you know that you don't really want to do something sometimes.
Dude, it's why launching is so important, because you can literally hundreds of thousands of people's attitudes can change about one product in 2 days, just depending on the atmosphere and the vibe.
It's weird, isn't it, how Cyberpunk has lasted me since 2013, but Squadrons has lasted me less than 2 months in terms of my hype for the game. How insane is that? It's been 7 years I've been waiting for this Cyberpunk game, my guy. 7 years. I mean, we waited 8 years for 7 or 8 years for Last of Us 2 in your case, and then Borderlands 3 for everybody else too. So you need a way of being able to hold on. Just Squadrons doesn't have it. It doesn't have the name. All it has is Star Wars, and it isn't enough nowadays. Star Wars, I don't think, is enough to sell what it used to.
And to your point, Jay, I think as gamers we're going to have to learn to have these 5, 6, 7 year waiting periods, because games are taking longer. And for me and you, man, Borderlands 3 was a long wait, dude.
Oh, it was, yeah. Although luckily we had
pre-sequel.
We had pre-sequel. That definitely tided us over. Yeah.
Tales from the Borderlands.
I'm kind of imagine there's a Cyberpunk 2, right? How long does it take development-wise? Does it take 7 years, or does it take half the time?
I mean, I think it goes to 2030. Because I see them more likely, for instance, to do a Witcher 4 over a Cyberpunk 2.
Oh yeah, you're right, 100%.
Just after the game.
No, I think I'm hoping the DLC for Cyberpunk will just last us 5 years or something.
Dude, again, Jay, I promise you, the length is not what you should be concerned about with this game. I promise you.
Honestly, I hope you're right.
If it is shorter than you think, it will be so good that you'll either want to play it again or you'll be satisfied with it.
Oh no, I'm playing this game 3 times. I'm playing it with Street Kid, Nomad, and Corpo. 100%. Okay. I don't know which order yet. Haven't made my mind up, but I'm playing it 3 times.
Mate, the achievement list, I'm stressing about it every day.
It's not out yet, is it?
No, that exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
just
kind of worried there's going to be a difficulty one. I'm hoping there's no difficulty one. If there is, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, Jay, here's the thing. There was one for Witcher 3. However, as soon as they got New Game Plus out, it was like fine. It was easy. But if they don't have New Game Plus, then that's going to be hard.
Honestly, if there's New Game Plus, that'll make me so happy.
Dude, every single player game should have New Game Plus.
Truth. Facts. Spitting bars, my guy. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. 100%.
Mate, I interrupted your flow, so some other stuff you're
Right,
thinking about.
yeah, so I'll quickly touch on Dirt 5.
Yeah, what's going on?
It's been delayed.
Again?
Yeah.
So it's not coming out next week?
It was supposed to come out next week, but it is now, I think, near a launch. Right. It's like November... So yeah, it was supposed to come out the 16th, but I think it's now like November something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming out November 19th.
PS5 day. Jay, that's Cyberpunk day.
Hang on, the game is scheduled to be released on PlayStation 4. Here we go. So PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on November 6th. Series X and PlayStation 5, 10th and 12th. And then the 19th everywhere else. So it's got like 4 or 5 different launches, depending on where you get it and when you get it.
That doesn't sound good to me. What do you think about this, mate?
Honestly, I'm kind of just like, because it's coming out later now, I'm probably not too fussed about getting it sooner. I'll probably buy it when it's cheaper. I'm still excited about playing it, but I'll buy it when it's cheaper. More than likely.
Tell us about this game. So tell us about this game you're playing now.
Yeah, so it's a game called Genshin Impact.
Okay.
Spelled GENSHIN space IMPACT Impact. I told you about this E3 this year. I mentioned it to you maybe 10 podcasts ago, maybe 12 podcasts ago, and you were like, yeah, I'm not fussed about it, but I was fussed about it because it's like basically playing an anime. It's very fun, and we didn't actually have that much info on it at the time. All we knew is that it was like a game that was coming out on mobile and console, but it's basically a mobile game that is like a JRPG, but there's also a gacha system. Now, do you know what a gacha system is?
No.
So a gacha system is basically what's in like a lot of mobile games where you can basically roll or like pull a lever out of like a jackpot machine and you get like a character, essentially. You get the chance at either like a character or a special weapon. So that's basically what the game is revolved around. There's like 20 characters. Some of them are 5-star, some of them are 4-star, and depending on which ones you get, you have a better chance of doing better in the game, essentially. But that's like part of it. The other part of it is that it's very much like Breath of the Wild, in that there's this sort of like climbing stamina system, and you can like vertically climb, and you've got wings, so you can like glide off of stuff as well. Similar to, I think you can do that in Zelda. I actually haven't played it, so I wouldn't know. But it is extremely good. It's also on PC as well, I should say. One thing I can say is PC and mobile gacha games have been known for re-rolling. Do you know what re-rolling is?
Oh, wait, let me guess.
Okay.
Conducting the same role so you get the same character?
Kind of. So re-rolling is when you make multiple accounts. Because usually you get given a certain amount of free rolls whenever you start up a new game of these gacha games. Usually you get like 10 or 20 free rolls.
So people will just keep...
Yeah, so what happens is you're basically, during those first lot of free rolls, you're more likely to get the better characters.
Yeah.
So if you get the best ones, then good. If you don't get the best ones, then try again, basically. But the only way to try again...
Yeah.
The only way to try again is to make a new account and just do it over and over again. And you can do that on PC and mobile, but you can't do it on PS4. So I was kind of like, I want to play it on PS4, so I'm not going to bother re-rolling and just hope for the best. And I've actually been pretty lucky. I've gotten 3 of the best characters in the game out of 4, so I'm pretty happy right now. I've just got 1 more to get. So the chance of getting a 5-star character is 0.6%. And I have 2 of them. Well, technically 3 of them.
That's pretty good.
I've been very lucky. I've only rolled like maybe 100 times or so.
Would you consider you done with the game when you get all 4?
No, not even close. Like, this is one of those games that you have to play a lot. Like there's there's an end game, but I'm not going to see that end game for a long time.
Is there trophies up for this, mate?
There is, and they're actually pretty easy. If I wanted to do them, I could, but I'm not really bothering at the minute. I'm just sort of playing it and having fun with it at the minute. I'm at the point now where I'm almost halfway to max level, but it's going to take me a long time to get to max. Like, it's going to take me a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not playing this as much as I want to. Like, I'm not waking up at 8 and playing it till midnight. I'm sort of playing it from like 10 till 12, and then like 1 till 4, and then like 7 till 10. So I'm maybe only getting like 7 or 8 hours versus the 10 hours I usually would with a game. But I'm not really fussed about that, honestly. I'm just happy about playing it because it's very fun.
I'm happy that you're playing a game you're enjoying.
Oh man, you know how I said I wasn't in the mood for gaming at the minute?
Yeah.
Last week, and then I was like, I'll just watch some anime. Well, I did that, and then I started playing this game and realised this game is basically like watching an anime and playing a game at the same time. Because it literally is. The game is an anime game. The characters are stylized to be like anime characters, and it's written in such a way that it's very funny. Like, weirdly, this game has better writing than Avengers.
Mate.
And it's a free to play game.
I was about to ask you, any progress on Avengers? Anything happen there?
Yeah, there's been 3 updates since the last time I played it.
Just fixes, just
fixes and stuff. Yeah,
wow.
Fixing stuff, and I haven't actually touched it since. So
the Angry Joe review came out.
It did. What happened with that? What happened with that?
Better than expected. So usually for games he really doesn't like, i.e. Last of Us Part 2, he comes on and he goes, "You done fucked it up," and and he didn't do that for Avengers, as far as I could tell, which was interesting. So then I was like, right, so he doesn't hate it then. But then throughout the whole review, I don't think he said almost anything positive, but he still gave it a 5 out of 10 or something. So I was very confused by it, to be quite honest. But
it's not. I mean, at this point, the grind has sort of become too much of one. Like, the loot system really isn't good enough. It doesn't warrant you to want to keep coming back to it. I actually, weirdly, I prefer Anthem to Marvel Avengers, I think. I've thought about it. I really do. The loot system was just so much better.
Right.
Like, the game was designed with loot in mind. Well, that sounds good.
Whoa, what was that idea?
Ding, coined that. Slam dunk. Designed with loot in mind, my friend. Okay?
So now that you've removed a couple of weeks from finishing it, Jay, what are your thoughts on Avengers now? Is it getting worse, or is it, staying the same?
It's not getting much better. It's getting better in terms of how it plays, but not how the actual, like, the meat and the bones of the game isn't. They're like, okay, here's a good example. You know when Harry Potter drinks, I think, the polyjuice, the one that makes all the pump. No, he drinks the pump. No, he has a spell that makes his. But no. He has the spell against him that makes his bones really like wobbly.
Oh, dude, Brachio, Elmendo.
Yeah. So the one where his bones go wobbly. That's basically what Avengers is like right now. The bones are just wobbly. It needs some pumpkin juice, is what it needs. Just needs some pumpkin juice.
No, he gets a different drink, but like.
No, I'm pretty sure it is, but it's in that bottle that's like with a skeleton on it, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. And like the nurse is like, growing bones is not an easy business. Out of my way. Yeah, exactly. She's all like,
that's basically what Avengers is right now. It's Harry Potter with his arm a bit bendy. That's basically what it is.
Man, I swear to God, that is the funniest part of the entire franchise. I swear to God.
It's a good one.
Oh,
but yeah, that's my analogy right now. It's a bendy bone.
I actually wish we could like watch TV and movies together, separate. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like a watch party.
Exactly, but did that get hacked? Is that right?
I don't know.
I thought it got hacked and stuff, and like you were supposed to. Well, anyway, great idea. I mean, I definitely we should do
that. Yeah.
Or not. Jay doesn't want to. Clearly.
I don't know. Depends on the movie.
Harry Potter 2.
Sure.
No, but you don't even have to like watch it with me. Like I'm not, I'm
no,
not
I know what you mean. I just watch it at the same time.
Background and shit. Yeah.
Do you Do you mean like a commentary show?
Where I just meant us personally. I wasn't even thinking of a show per se. But
there is actually a podcast for that. I don't know if you know. I think it's called For the First Time. where guys watch the first series they did was the entirety of the Lost series. So they sit and watch Lost every episode, and they do their personal commentary on the episode as it's playing.
So you
and
can
they did
watch
it for every watch it along, and you also listen to the commentary at the same time.
Oh no, that is so too much for me. But
it was a lot. I've listened to a lot of the episodes, but not all of them. I'm a good way through. But
what do you think about it? Do you like it?
I like it because of the people who talk. They're funny. They're people they're like YouTubers who I followed over the years.
Do they ruin certain elements and certain scenes?
No, because I've seen the show before, so I feel like if you've watched a show by yourself and then you just want to watch it again, but with like a funny backtrack, then do that. Yeah.
Do they talk a lot during it?
Yeah, the entire time, pretty much.
Jesus,
that's the point.
I can't imagine providing the energy and entertainment for like a whole hour.
I think you can also watch it where you just watch the episode of the show, and then just listen to the commentary afterwards, rather than during the same time.
Sure.
I think that's the point, but you can do it either way.
So you're just reliving the episode in your mind as they're talking about it, kind
of thing. Basically, yeah. It's kind of like that Walking Dead show. They did a Walking Dead thing, but it was like an after show for the Walking Dead, didn't they?
And they did that for Game of Thrones as well, right?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, any type of like after show, basically. Yeah.
Okay. And Pokemon J, I think, did it get some more?
Yeah. So they scheduled 2 DLC.
Yeah.
The Isle of something, and then the Tundra something. The Isle one came out a while ago, and the Tundra one is coming out soon.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that because I have the first DLC. I just haven't played it yet. So.
Dude, do you think you will?
Yeah, I'll get round to it. Yeah.
Did you buy the season pass?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
I'll get round to it eventually.
All right, boss. All right.
Yeah. And I'm guessing you're still playing Destiny at times too.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm playing with you, progressing, and then after we've done our bit, I will mop up things that you wouldn't want to do, sort of thing. So like lost sectors and stuff like that. Be at a point now, currently, as talking, where we need to do a couple of worlds and then I need to go mop them up, sort of thing. And I don't want to play Gambit without you first, like do a first match. We haven't done Crucible together yet, and we've got Raid.
Honestly, Crucible is actually probably my favourite thing about Destiny at the minute.
Okay.
It's so fun. I love Team Deathmatch. It's so fun.
I sucked.
Dude, I was good. I got like 16 and 4. I was like, I'm good.
My God.
My first match in like a year, and I was like, yep, decent.
Come on my team.
Dude, I love it. Hand cannons in that game are ridiculous. That's honestly like either a one shot in the head or like two, like one in the head and one in the body, and you're good. So.
Okay, fair.
It's pretty fun. Get a hand cannon and just be good at aiming.
Get good.
You'll basically get good and you'll be good. One thing I do want to say about Genshin really quick.
Yeah.
They have a very similar system with the triumphs.
Oh yeah.
There's like an in-game achievement stroke triumph system.
Interesting.
Where but this time you actually get rewarded for it. You get like in-game rewards and resources for completing these things. So just thought I'd let you know. Man. I'm not seeking them out, but when they happen, I'm very happy.
Yeah. It could be an interesting development in the metagame moving forward. Quick thing on Destiny 2, mate. I think we do a couple of mop-ups. We definitely do the Tangled Shore and Dreaming City or whatever it's called. But after that, I think we should just do Red War. I think we just 100%. Go for it.
Yeah, need to. Really badly need to.
Would you rather just do Red War?
What, now? Versus the Tangled Shore and everything?
Yeah.
It's up to you, man. It's not my decision to make. It's your decision to make. It's all to do with your process. It's nothing to do with me. I'm just there for the ride. You're the one driving.
If we do Red War, I will probably just do the new light stuff in my own time.
Sure.
But I'm more than happy to do it with you if you want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing the new light stuff just to maybe like have it done.
Fine, let's do it together then. Let's do it together. And I won't do raids without you and stuff like that.
You can do raids. I don't really care about that. You can do
we'll come on to that if we need to. But after we've done this new light stuff, we're nearly there. Not all of it, just the main bits that we feel good with. Then we'll go to Red War. That's fine.
I just realised I haven't got my wallpaper as anything Genshin Impact related, so I'm not going to change that.
Nice. Mate, I need your help to change my build for Amara on Borderlands 3 when it goes cross-platform, because it's not good.
Amara's tough, dude. She's really tough to build for, like especially one that's like good enough for you to be happy with? I mean, I don't know exactly what your play is like, but you kind of need to let me know how you want to play.
I thought I had okay melee damage, and I have all this melee stuff. I've got the green tree, and then like my melee damage does good, but it doesn't do phenomenal, basically. So
yeah, I recommend. I know this is going to sound like really stupid and obvious, but I recommend just like I could probably recommend a certain person to you who I trust build wise. It just might take you a while to get it done. That's the only issue.
no,
Honestly,
cool.
it's more about the commitment of actually like going out and farming than anything else. Like that's
Yeah.
your main issue. Is if you don't want to farm, then you're probably not going to get a good enough build. Honestly.
No, that's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
You've got to know that you want to do it. So.
All right, Destiny 2, mate. You want to put in this Beyond Light stuff?
I want to what?
You put in Destiny 2 Beyond Light update?
Oh, right. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, something about the install size. I think they said something about that it's not going to be big or something. It's actually going to make the whole thing slightly less.
So it looks like with Beyond Light update, as they kind of mentioned, they're going to vault a few planets and put in Beyond Light, but it will make the overall game size smaller because they're removing stuff.
Yeah.
And it will require full install.
That's quite good, I guess, for a lot of people, I imagine.
Yeah, because most people have played a lot of that content, I'd say, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Are you looking at wallpapers?
Kind of. Yeah, no, I'm not really like too fussed about the Destiny 2 thing because I'm probably not. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be playing the Beyond Light stuff. I probably will, but I don't know. I think I'd probably want to play it on my PlayStation stuff first. It depends on where we get to with the Xbox stuff, I guess.
I think the idea of reducing the size of the game's great, and the idea of vaulting, Jay, as far as I'm aware, is unprecedented.
They do it with Fortnite, right?
Right, sure.
Oh, that was one other thing I wanted to bring up earlier too. Is Fortnite has been known for crunching too.
Right. What, recently?
Yeah, because obviously they're having to put out so much content that they're having to crunch like all the time. So.
Yeah, that's a weird one for me because I think there is a correlation between new content in that game and player base, but I wouldn't say you would need to crunch that hard to keep people playing that game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know. I didn't really understand it at first either. I was like, well, that doesn't really make sense, but apparently it's a thing.
Diablo 4, mate.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be hearing news about Diablo, but apparently it's a thing. Something about the end game, I want to say. Hang on.
It just said it's designed to make hardcore players happy, whatever that means.
Yeah, so Diablo 3 had a very extensive end game, and it was very similar to WoW in its grind, I guess. It's like end game grind, and also Diablo 3 is sort of one of those games that you could play for like people. There's still people playing it now. Like they're still updating that game. There's still events every month or so. Like there's people still playing Diablo 3 this many years ahead of time. So they're constantly, they've got a dedicated team for Diablo 3, and they're really on the ball with it. So they're just letting people know, hey, we're gonna do the same thing with Diablo 4. Don't worry. Which I'm actually kind of happy about. I'm Diablo 4 is definitely still off. It's in the very distant future right now, but I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm definitely gonna be playing it on next gen. I mean, I think we all are, but there we go.
Mate,
I kind of hope it's a next gen only game, honestly.
Yeah, sure.
Are you
thinking that you'd rather those resources go to a purely next gen version or next gen?
Yeah, 100%. Don't bother with making it on previous. Yeah. Like, if you think you're gonna make more money, then no, don't even bother.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you can do it, but it's just I'd rather it be on. I mean, I think it'll probably be so many years ahead now that we're probably not even gonna. I don't think we're gonna be even worried about it. It'll probably be launched about the time when they'll stop making Xbox One and PS4 games, more than likely, because eventually they're going to stop making them. So
yeah,
I mean, the
issue I think Xbox have put themselves in a corner, Jay, because everything wants to be forwards compatible and backwards compatible.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that means that games are going to have to be playable on Xbox One for longer than typical for a new generation. So that could be an issue for next gen fans like us, I think. But we'll see. We'll see. And you also put in, Jay, the PS Plus free games, which I was curious about. Why did you?
Yes, that was a reason. Did you put in the Xbox free games?
I
Okay,
did.
right. So I'll quickly mention this then. So I mentioned to you before about a game called Vampire.
Yeah. Oh, I knew this was coming.
It's free to play, baby boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I recommend you get it. Just download it. Like no, like have it in your library because I have a feeling you'll potentially like it.
Fine. Fine.
Like it's good, and the fact that you've got no excuse now, it's free.
I think we should have a card, a Joker card. So if I play Vampire, you should have to play a game that I want you to play.
Which one? If you had to say one, what would it be?
It would be Horizon.
Yeah, but I've played. I'm already like 10 hours in.
We you haven't finished it.
Well, yeah, but it's an effort.
It's an effort for me to play Vampire. What do you want from me?
I mean, I feel like it wouldn't be. I don't know, it depends. Are you how are you with like collectibles and 100% in the game?
I mean, not that twitchy. I mean, depends on the game, but typically I
Because
like to
Vampire
get
was
'em.
probably one of my most annoying. That's the thing about Vampire. It's very an annoying process to
Is
get
it linear?
100%.
Is it linear?
Well, yeah, no, but it's basically the difficulty it took to go to get the achievement for um the Conqueror on Odyssey.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but for like the entire game. That's what Vampire's like. Thing is, right? That's the level of challenge I like when it comes to certain games like that, and I think that's part of the reason why I enjoy the Dark Souls series, is because there's so much riding on you making a mistake that you're constantly like jittery and adrenaline pumped. That's what I like about it. So, well, the entire time I was playing Vampire, I was just constantly on the edge, being like, don't muck this up, just please, like, stay where you need to be.
So it's quite hard, or is it from that? Is that from a
It's
100%
easy,
point of view?
but to be able to get 100%, it's difficult if you don't know what you're doing. You have to watch a lot of videos and.
Is it like stealth and stuff?
No, not necessarily.
Right.
There's just certain quests you have to do at certain times, and if you
Oh
miss it, then you've
God.
got to start the entire
That's
game
our
again.
worst nightmare. Why do you like that? That's Dead Rising. Why do you like
Yeah,
that?
I don't know. I think it because it was. I think the reason why I like it especially is because I didn't make a mistake once. So I did it. I'm now capable of knowing that I'm good enough to be able to get it done.
First playthrough, you didn't.
First playthrough, didn't make a single mistake. I researched the game so
Wow.
much leading up to it, I had no problem.
Look at that.
I loved it. I love knowing that I'm capable of doing like that. It just sort of, it was almost like, I don't know if you've ever had this before. I'm actually curious if you've had this feeling before. But like your gamer level sort of like went up one. Does that make sense? Like I'm
Yeah.
now like gamer level 9 instead of like 7. I went up 2 levels playing this thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my street cred in cyberpunk went up a bit. You know, like I'm just more capable. And
I
I
haven't
think
had
that's
that.
actually like you said you were not necessarily jealous, but like envious of my capability in some games. It comes from having played games that you know you're not going to enjoy, but when you finish it, you're going to be like, well, I did actually enjoy it because of how hard it was. Like there is a merit to challenging games, which is the reason why I feel very capable when it comes to like I think the way you build courage in playing like a game is just doing it and failing enough times to not be scared by it anymore. I know you've had this feeling before where you've felt very anxious or nervous about mucking up in a game even once, and then as soon as you do, you're like, oh, you just feel like really bad, but you do it enough where like, well, it doesn't actually matter if I die because nothing really bad happens. Like I love that feeling of being like the reassurance of not having to worry about dying in a game. I think that's where a lot of casual gamers and a lot of first time gamers get worried, is that they think if they die that the game's over, when necessarily it isn't. It just means you just have to spend a bit more time on it. That's all it really comes down to. It's just time. I think that's what it is. I think people are scared of wasting their own time. But if you're a gamer, all your time is dedicated to gaming anyway. So
I wonder if that fear of death in games, particularly, has been driven even more so over the last 10 years because games have gotten easier and the game over screen is less well known to us.
Oh, 100%. The game over screen back in the day, in like the 80s and 90s, that was it. The game was over. You started again. But nowadays, you don't have that. You don't have 3 lives like in Mario. You have infinite lives, and you can respawn back to checkpoints. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
On the point of leveling up, I haven't had that in a game in a long time.
So yeah, I was gonna say, what was the last time you leveled up? You felt like your gamer level went up a bit.
Yeah, good question. In terms of skill.
In terms of like feeling like so you went into a game thinking I'm going to play this to my best ability, but you were worried that you weren't going to be able to do good enough. But you actually ended up doing so much better than you thought, and then you were like, woohoo, I leveled up.
This might be a bit of a cheat answer, but Titanfall 2, because I didn't play Titanfall 2 until like 2 years after it came out, and that was probably 5 or 6 years after Titanfall 1, and I was like, am I going to be nearly as good on this sequel? I used to love the original. I was quite good at the original. And then I played Titanfall 2 multiplayer, and I was like, I'm back in it, baby. I have not lost anything.
It was almost like riding a bike kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, the muscle memory kicked in. That's a good feeling when that kicks in.
And the only other time, really, for some reason, I'm thinking of FPSs where I can think, Nick, you tried your best and you got better at that game, is probably doing some of the veteran missions back in the day for Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2.
I 100% feel you on that. You remember that achievement on COD 4 where you had to do the Mile High Club in like under 30 seconds? Did you ever do that on Veteran?
Nope.
I did it.
No.
I did it. I did it in like 28 seconds, I want to say. Something like that. Yeah, it took me a while, but when I did it, I felt like I leveled up right there. That was it.
Yeah.
My gaming repertoire just went straight up.
Yeah.
I just felt so much more capable, much more confident in my capabilities. I love that. I love when that happens. I've had that happen a lot. Like Dark Souls, weirdly, I had it on every Dark Souls game and Bloodborne. So I completed Dark Souls 1, but when I played Dark Souls 2, I was like, wait, am I good at this game? I haven't played it in so long, I might actually just be terrible at it, and just didn't know. And then I completed Dark Souls 2 easily, and was like, oh, maybe I am good at this. And then the same thing happened with 3, and then Bloodborne just kept happening. But I knew I was good.
Does any of that muscle memory carries over? I've never wondered that.
Slightly,
actually.
Yeah. There are some differences. It does slightly, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, on the games with gold front, Jay, I'm glad you brought up the PS Plus free games, because I wanted to bring up the Xbox Live games with gold games.
Yeah.
Because 2 reasons. One, it relates to seasonal games, which we're going to talk about in a sec, because they're all Halloween games. Which is
I did look at them, but I forgot what they were.
Well, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one I'm bothered about, which is the second reason I want to bring this up, is Costume Quest 1 from the Xbox 360 is one of the free games. And I bring this up, Jay, because this means that PS Plus and Xbox Live have 5, Nick has 1 when it comes to waiting for a free game that he didn't pay for. I have a small victory. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick got a game for free which he wanted, which he didn't just pay full price for. Thumbs up.
You say Costume Quest?
Costume Quest, yeah.
Doesn't look that good to me.
Yeah, well, I played the second one, dude, and it's fun.
Okay, I'm sure. I've actually been surprised. I remember there was a game called Happy something that looks quite similar to this.
Yeah, I know what you're on about.
Yeah, it looks fairly similar.
It's only probably 3 hours long, but it's a great Halloween game, and I'm going to play it, I think.
Sure, yeah. Okay. So that's what else was free to play on that? What was the other one?
Sphinx, which is an original Xbox game, Made of Scare, and then Slayaway Camp Butcher's Cut.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow, I remember that original Xbox game. Wow.
Do you? Any good?
Yeah, I actually do. Did I have it, or did I have? I might have had like a demo disc of it or something. I remember looking at the
3D action platformer type game, or
I can't even remember. I just remember looking at the front cover, being like, "Oh, I want to play that game."
Fair.
Yeah. I just actually realised that these games are supposed to be like horror games, aren't they? That totally just like.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it, but yeah, Vampire. I will say, Vampire is the perfect Halloween game.
Okay.
So if you're ever up for anything Halloweeny, definitely go for that.
Well, we've got Dark Pictures Anthology second game, Little Hope, coming out as well.
Yeah.
At the end of the month.
Again, that's the game I love. I love watching people play those, because there's always a jump scare that people like keep getting scared by, and it makes me laugh every time. And also, they've got a lot of actors in it who I recognise from previous things too, so you get that a lot. But there you go.
Jay, before we get on to Guess Who's review,
yeah,
I just wanted to quickly ask you about a topic which we touched on before. Games being impactful because they launch at the start of a generation and the link between that. So Resistance Fall of Man will always be a PS3 launch game in my mind. Another launch game.
Oh, 100%. I loved that game when it came out. My God.
Yeah. And I just wanted to pick your brains a little and see if anything else comes to mind, really. I mean, Phantasy Star Universe for 360, I think, for you. I think.
Yes, very much so.
I just wanted to pick your brains and see if there were any other games that come to mind, or maybe just have a general discussion on why is it that Rise Son of Rome will always be memorable because it comes out at launch. Like, is it the best game at launch and that's why it stands out? Like, what's the deal with that?
So, launch titles for 360, that included Call of Duty 2, didn't it?
Yeah.
Also Oblivion as well.
Launch title?
Yeah.
Shit.
I think so. Let me just double check. Oblivion came out March 2006. And the launch of the 360 was December 2005?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not technically a launch, but it's like close enough to launch for it to be thought of as one that came out pretty quick.
Wow.
Gun was another one.
Oh, Gun.
Cameo was like a big one for me.
Cameo, yes, yeah.
I guess Perfect Dark, but I never actually. I mean, I played it. I think I played the demo for like 2 seconds.
What, Jay? What about PSP and DS?
Oh wow, that's a good point. Let's have a look.
So PSP, I think Daxter rings a bell.
Titles. Oh yeah, Daxter definitely. Yeah,
Daxter. Yeah. For DS, there was a car racing game, Super Mario 64 on the DS as well. That was a big one.
Need for Speed. There was a Need for Speed game that came out on PSP launch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have many others other than those, honestly. I have games that I played, but not many launch ones for PSP. Xbox 360 and I think a PS3 was a Ridge Racer 6.
Right.
That was a racing game I really liked back in the day.
What about what about Xbox One? What comes to mind?
Let's have a look. Well, I mean, I didn't actually play it, but it was Dead Rising or whatever.
3, yeah.
Yeah. I guess there was Rise, didn't really play that.
Forza Motorsport 5, I think.
Let's have a look.
So what were you playing the day you bought your Xbox One, do you know?
Very good question. God, what was I playing? Genuinely don't remember. It might have been Assassin's Creed or something.
4.
Because Black Flag came out near the time.
Yeah.
But I didn't finish that game until
this year. Shit.
There might have been a Forza game I was playing potentially. I might have to like go back and have a look at my achievements and see what I was playing because I genuinely can't remember what even game I had. I don't know why. It's just out of my mind. Yeah, I couldn't tell you honestly. It's weird.
Jay, do you think we'll get these special launch games with this generation as well?
I mean, yeah. Watch Dogs Legion comes out soon, right?
Right.
I mean, what do you count as a launch title? Because for me, a launch title for me is a game that comes out just before, as of launch, and just after launch. I think that window still counts for me.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, Valhalla is definitely going to be a launch one. Dirt 5 for me is technically really a launch.
Squadrons, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Cyberpunk definitely a launch.
Watch Dogs. Mate, Watch Dogs Legion and Assassin's Creed coming out so close is not a good thing, I think.
No, it's definitely it's going to hurt sales for Legion more than Assassin's Creed, I'd say.
Is Legion not coming out next year?
No, it's coming out in the next month.
Right.
It's very soon.
Okay.
I mean, it's available for pre-order. It's been available for pre-order for a while now.
So I'm going to stand by my statement, Jay. I think we will have the best launch lineup of any generation.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's good timing. It's very, very good timing, honestly.
Also, Jay, I'm being a bit tricky here, but you could always argue, look, Crash 4, it's not a next-gen game, but it is coming out close to the time, so you can kind of,
you could definitely, definitely. I think the fact that you've got a new Spider-Man game, like if you look on the PS5 side of things, you've got the Spider-Man, you've got Demon Souls, which is is so been waited for so many people.
Yeah, great
Godfall,
launch game.
another big
great
one.
Launch game. Yeah,
like they're amazing launch games, like first party ones at least.
Yeah, 100%.
That
Demon Souls might, remove Cyberpunk from the equation. I think Demon Souls might be the best first party launch game ever. Like that is awesome.
Yeah, PS5 at least. I'd probably say Spider-Man is probably going to do better than everything else, but yeah.
Yeah.
I really think Spider-Man. Right. I think Spider-Man and Cyberpunk sales are probably going to clash somewhere, but I don't know where.
I just think Cyberpunk is going to dominate. Do you know what's interesting, Jay?
I hope so.
I don't know why publishers and developers aren't acting around Cyberpunk like they were around Red Dead 2. So Red Dead 2, it was something like 26th of October. Nobody released a game from 2 weeks before or after, right? Yep. And Cyberpunk, I know there's next gen involved, but Cyberpunk, everyone's acting like it ain't coming out, and I'm thinking, guys,
because they're worried they're going to be delayed again.
Maybe, but
they can't do it.
What I mean is, like, Jay, that game's going to dominate.
See, I have a thing. I think the game's going to not do as well on launch because it has to come out at the same time as all these other games. But I think it'll actually have a second wave. I reckon start of next year, middle of next year, it'll actually sell a lot more than you would think.
DLC.
I think I think when the first DLC comes out, and then when people have like sort of come back from the whole lockdown thing, and people are able to afford everything again, I reckon it'll probably have a second wave, and it'll probably continue to be quite consistent over the next 3 to 4 years. It'll be bought and bought and bought, just the same as Skyrim. Same as any sort of Bethesda stuff, all these kind of things. It'll all just be bought so many times. It'll be on the sale for like £10 less, and people will be like, "Oh, £10 less, I'll get that now." I don't think this game's going to go below 50 quid for like years. Like I've seen Witcher be like 20 quid, including all DLC.
Dude, I've seen Witcher 3 be like 5 quid with all DLC.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that's going to happen. The thing is, Witcher 3's been out since when? 2015?
2015, yeah.
Yeah, so I reckon 2025 we'll start to see Cyberpunk be like super cheap. But even then.
Agreed. All right, mate. Should we do Guess Who's Review quickly and then get out of here?
I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, you're guessing.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So,
I still have next week's ready anyway, so I'm good.
Me and Jay alternate weeks where we pick random game reviews, pick 3 quotes from them, and then we've got to guess it. So this week I've picked 3 quotes. I've found the game review. I'm confident in my decision and the quotes I've got. And Jay's got to guess the game. Jay, are you ready?
I am. It's 13-11 to me, just to let you know.
No pressure.
Go ahead. Is it 13-11? I'm pretty sure it's to me, isn't it?
Ooh. If you get this from quote 1,
or is it to you? Because
no,
you guessed last week.
Are you supposed to be hosting this one this week?
I think so.
Have you got one?
I did. You did it. You made me guess Bloodborne last week, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so it should be the other way around.
Wait, you made me... Oh, have you got a game?
Check. I have got one, but...
Oh, shit.
Let's just double check. It should be you guessing, right?
Oh, mate. Get it up.
I've got it already. I'm just making sure. Yeah, it was your turn last week, so it's my turn.
That's my bad. I did think that. All right, that's my bad.
Duffer. Absolute.
Mate.
Duffer.
I pulled it out of the bag. I'm back in the game.
Are you ready? Hang on, let me change this over.
Wow, look at that.
Just so we don't forget for next time. Right, so it's 13-11 to you, I'm pretty sure. No, to me, because I guessed. Yeah, 13-11 to me, because I guessed. There we go. Right, so you need to equalise. You need to get it on the second one. Are you ready?
Ready when you are, boss.
Okay. First clue. What order do I do this in? Okay, this is going to be so easy. I'm annoyed how easy this is.
Hold on a minute. Don't do it too easy. I'm sure it'll be fine. I didn't get it last time. You just go.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The mountain you must reach, which rises above the desert.
Journey!
Yeah, well done. Got it on the bloody first one, so you're now ahead of me. Jesus Christ. That was way too easy. Thing is, all the ones I chose were like so easy. Bugger, I can't believe you got that. That was way too easy.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, right, I'll have to do a slightly harder one next time.
That's a great week for me. All right, Jay, look, I think you're going to be playing the same game this week. I don't want to talk about what I'm playing this week just yet. So, quick question for you, mate. How are you feeling now that Dirt 5's been delayed and you don't really want to buy Squadrons? Like, I feel like your schedule's kind of empty, ready for next gen at this point.
Yeah, I kind of have to make my I've thought about it a little bit since we spoke about it, and I have to make my mind up whether I want to get Squadrons now or later.
Dude, I
have until tonight to pre-order it if I want to.
Don't bother.
No, I'm just too busy with other thing at the minute. It's going to take up too much time.
What I mean is, Jay, is that like from now till launch, I'm just not sure what you're going to be playing really, apart from this Genshin.
Oh, you mean for launch of next gen?
Well, like, I feel like you've got no major game coming out now until next gen.
Yeah, I mean, there's Dirt 5 and then that's it, pretty much.
Sure.
Oh, Jay, I'm probably going to get that on next gen rather than before.
Oh, yeah. Quick question.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Quick question. Valhalla, if you do get an Xbox, are you starting it before Cyberpunk?
I mean, we spoke about this briefly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I am. Cause it took me, I mean, because there's no DLC.
We could do it, right?
I could do it. But there's part of me is thinking I might wait until all the DLC's out.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy,
man.
I
know I'm crazy because it could be a year from now.
Yeah.
But I felt like I enjoyed Odyssey a lot with the DLC, and I don't know if I'll enjoy Valhalla more with playing the DLC. I'm probably crazy. You're right, I probably am crazy. I'll probably just play it. I don't know. I'll see. I still don't know if I'm getting Xbox first or not. I don't know. I still don't know. I think I might have to because I'm getting pissed off. I'm getting fed up. I want an Xbox so bad because it looks so good, but it costs too much.
That's another thing that makes me think PS5 might be losing ground because the console just looks huge and it still looks
They're both huge in their own right. It's just different dimensions on what you mean by huge.
Hey. And with that...